Hi boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and Gorilla fans all over the world. My name's Robbo and this is Gorilla TV. And tonight on Gorilla Talk, we have the absolute pleasure of sitting down and having a chat with under 11s coach of the Blue team, Ben Rayner. Ben, welcome to Gorilla Talk, mate.
Thanks, mate. Glad to be here. Thanks for the invite.
No, mate, always have superstars on and you're one of them. Now, Benny, on Gorilla Talk, we find out a little bit about your family and where you grew up, mate. Can you give us a little bit of an insight into your background?
Yeah, sure. So I come from Victoria, in a little town called Winchelsea, sheep shearing town, 2 pubs, cricket team and a football team. If you didn't play cricket or football, you probably weren't well known in the town. It was it's one of those things, and the top and bottom pub, there was always a special room out the back where if you were 16, 17, you might have been able to go out there and have a raspberry or two. Or
a raspberry?
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, it was just a Darcy Parish territory actually. Yeah, so it was great growing up down in Victoria. So I played for the Winchelsea Blues, and spent most of my time.
What colours did the Winchelsea Blues wear?
Carlton, yeah. So some of the Carlton song. But
and being a mad Collingwood supporter, that must have been hard.
That was all right. I didn't mind it. Actually, I really, I was etched on, Winchelsea Blues were it. Collingwood was probably my second team at that point. I thought Winchelsea was just unreal.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, one of my mates always says, who's your second favourite team in the AFL? He says, Collingwood Reserves. So it's a good joke, but it was great growing up in Winchelsea. I really loved it, and the bright lights of Queensland brought me up here. So
I'll get to that in a sec. You're racing through your life, mate. What was a young Ben like? Were you adventurous? Were you confident? Were you mischievous?
Probably all those, mate. Yeah, I was full of confidence. I don't know why, but I certainly got up to a bit of mischief. And growing up in a country town, you get a fair bit of freedom. So, going camping with your mates on the weekend and fishing and, rabbiting and shooting and all those different things were part of my weekends.
So you weren't just sitting home playing video games, mate?
No, mate. We did have an Atari at one point, but that didn't get...
Yes. The Commodore 64.
Commodore, yeah, one of those as well. Yeah, Street Car was one of my favourites. But the outdoors was always... much more fun for me. I really enjoyed getting outside, and then as I got a little bit older, I found different ways to get myself into trouble.
Yeah.
So instead of going fishing, I might fish for an hour and go and get myself up to a bit of mischief.
Yeah.
So that was.
Mum and Dad might be watching, mate. You might have to be careful.
No, I think it was all right. I think Mum sort of conned on to, she tells me that you think I didn't know, but I knew. So
yeah, they always know, don't they?
No, you think you're getting away with it, but it's like my kids now. They they think that you don't know, but we've all been kids once before. So
yes, very long time ago these days, mate. What sports did you? Well, you mentioned it's pretty much just footy and cricket.
Yeah.
Is that basically what you did? Footy during the winter, cricket during the summer? Pretty much everyone did down in Victoria?
Yeah, footy and cricket, mate. I played most of my cricket. I was blessed, and you don't realise until you get a bit older, right? You look back and reflect, and I played cricket at Lorne, Jan Juc, Torquay, Anglesea, all these places on the Ocean Road. And it's a holiday destination for people from all around the world to come, and I'm playing cricket and complaining about it because the weather's not great and all the rest of it. So cricket was a summer sport.
You batsman, bowler?
I did a bit of both, mate. I thought I was unreal at everything, but it turned out that wasn't the case. But I like to bowl, mate, and certainly enjoyed batting. But bowling was good because you could. You could stick at it for a bit longer, whereas if you're batting and you went out, well, your day's over already.
Yes.
So it was good fun. Yeah, cricket and football growing up. Bit of basketball at school for in Colac for the Rebels, but didn't take that very seriously. But
remember the old Test match game? You roll the ball down.
Yeah, I had that. Yeah, I had that. It was unreal. Yeah, there's all these digital games.
I know the kids are missing out.
Yeah, they do.
They miss out on all these ball games. I can see Tiger sitting behind the camera now going, I'm not missing out on a thing.
Yeah.
Mate, so when you were growing up as a kid, you're playing footy, what team did you go for? Well, I mentioned Collingwood.
Yeah, Collingwood, that's right. Yeah, and I don't know why Collingwood, everyone thinks you come from down near Geelong, you should barrack for Geelong, right? But my uncle, always looked up to my uncle, and I get the feeling it was probably because of him. He barracked for Collingwood, so I just naturally went for that. And now after singing Good Old Collingwood Forever every night to my kids has had a good effect on them, and they all barracked for Collingwood as well.
Now I know why he came to the club.
Yeah,
the song, was it?
That was a byproduct, mate. That was, and when I found that, it was unreal.
Being a Collingwood, did you have any? Now I always ask this question, and no one ever answers it. Well, no one ever says that they do. But did you have any heroes posters up on your wall, mate? Or
yeah, look, I don't know about posters on the wall, but Darren Mullane was my absolute favourite footballer.
He was a champion, mate.
Yeah, and I remember Mum telling me that he had the car accident in '91, and I bawled my eyes out. I was devastated because I really just fell in love with him. I just thought he was unreal.
Was that early days, like pre-season?
Geez, I can't. I think it was before the season started in '91. So they won the '90. They won the '90. Then '91. Yeah, it must have been before the season started. Yeah, so I didn't get to lace them up for the following season. I think. Yeah, it might have been after the end of the season. I can't remember, to be honest. Yeah.
So he was one of the toughest, hardest footballers that I can remember, especially playing for the Pies. But a lot of blokes don't remember that he is actually pretty bloody skillful.
Oh, mate, he was unreal. And he was hard and fit and just, he was a future captain of the club, there was no doubt. But he got himself into some hot water with the bus incident. And
I've heard a lot of stories about the tunnel. I think that's
tunnel.
one of their main places they went to have a raspberry, as you'd say.
Yeah, Banksy and Krasiska and those guys would get up to a bit of mischief. But anyway, it's just the way it rolls.
Did you get to go to many games, like the Victoria Park and MCG and?
Yeah, I reckon as a kid I probably went to the MCG a couple of times. Not Vicky Park, but I certainly went to Condinia Park back then a few times.
Obviously being close, yeah.
Yeah. So I remember sort of going back a bit now, but there's nothing better than when your day was finished at football country footy in Victoria, and then you're listening to it on the wireless on the way home.
Yep, listening to talk back.
Yeah. And of course, all the games were played at once then. And if it was Collingwood Geelong, you had a good chance of getting it on radio. So, but went to Condinia Park a number of times. It was good fun. Back in the standing room. So wasn't a lot of seats on that. I forgot what road it was, but anyway, that side is all it's all built in now. But it was good fun.
Yeah, nice bit. And what sort of player were you like yourself? Were you a big full forward like your boy Jacko, or? Yeah.
Oh, mate, I morphed through many different shapes. So I was a big lad as a kid, like Jack, and so rucked, 10s, 11s, and 12s, and then.
So you got to be able to run these days, don't you? That's
you do. Problem. Yeah, it wasn't much of a runner either. So, 10s, 11s, 12s, ruck, and back then, like under 17s was the only youth football you had. So we're playing youth footy in Winchelsea, 13 and 14 years old.
Yeah.
A lot of splinters in the backside, mate, sitting on the pine. They get 5 minutes at the end, and then you're playing in the pocket and a wing, and then I think I ended up becoming a ruck for a period.
Yeah.
And then just as I came out of youth, I ended up being a centre. So and I thought of myself as a bit of a midfielder that didn't like to run very much. So wasn't my forward craft was not very good. I was pretty determined though. I didn't mind sort of getting amongst it, but
people don't realise, Ben, it's the hardest position on the ground, the small forward, or the forward.
Yeah, it is. It is very hard.
That's what I keep telling him.
It's easy just to beat your man, right? If you're in the back line. But so that's pretty much it, mate. Yeah, so a few different body shapes.
Any premierships, mate?
Played in a few grand finals, never won a premiership as a playing AFL. Won some premierships playing AFL 9s, touch footy.
Yeah. That counts.
It does count, mate. It does count. It still feels unreal, but premierships, they're very difficult to come by. I've got mates that have played in 13 of them, so.
I know.
It's crazy. You just think, how the hell can you go and play in 13 premierships at multiple clubs? But whether they select them or it's them that has the impact, I'm not sure. But
yeah. Well, some of the greatest players ever play AFL, mate, have not won. I think Tony Lockett never won a premiership.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So now, how did you make your way to sunny Brizzy, mate? Was that?
Well, that was literally, growing up in a small country town. You sort of, at some point, you're probably ready to go and try something different. And one of my mates, Stewie Williams, and I just sort of got our heads together and said, look, let's go to Queensland. So everyone in Victoria wants to go to Queensland.
Loaded up the ute and...
Yeah, that's pretty much it. The old red Commodore, mate, the VB Commodore that had a bit of a slip in second gear, make a bit of a whistle when it connect. We packed up the bags and told Mum that we're heading up. We jumped in the Yellow Pages and had a bit of a look around for a football club. We were heading to Maroochydore. I don't know what happened. We were heading to Maroochydore. That's where we were going to play, and then we ended up in North Mackay. And played the North Mackay Saints. So my mate came home a bit early.
You're not very close, Ben.
Oh no, it's just bizarre. I mean, we did have a friend up there. I can't think back then. I just don't know why we were heading to Maroochydore, how we ended up in Mackay, and then and some of my best mates came from Mackay. But
it does sound like a couple of lads that have just loaded up the ute and just headed off north.
See what happens.
They ended up in Mackay.
Yeah. So
probably the best time of your life.
Well,
apart from your kids.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Mackay was different. I mean, it probably wasn't. I didn't have a love affair with the town, but I reckon some of my best mates had come out of there. But the great thing is it got me to Brisbane, and I just love Brisbane. I think it's fantastic, and Queensland itself. I mean, I'm not big on cold weather. I don't mind it for 4 or 5 weeks of the year, but I love getting out in the water and all that sort of stuff.
You complained about the cold the other day at the carnival, mate. It was 22 degrees.
I know, I've acclimatised too well, mate, I can tell you.
So how did you end up at the Mighty Gorillas, man?
Brett Gillett. Pretty simple, So Gillett lives 4 or 5 houses down from me. He's a great man, and
actually, sorry, he'll be watching this because I asked him on Friday night and said, "I'll come on the show." And he said, "Yep, next week I'll come on." And now I've got you on, so he might be watching this going, "Robbo, what's going on?" But next week, Gillett, you're on.
Well, he did tell me to make a special mention for him, so there you go, Gillett, I've done that. But no, he just lives down the road, and he's good mates with my brother-in-law Tony. They teach at the same school. And Tony told me for a number of years there's a man down here that comes from Geelong. You need to connect with him. So we caught up and just got along with our house on fire. So as everyone does with Gilla.
Yeah, he's a great man. I remember when I was coaching Masters, everyone was just like, "Oh, Gilla." You'd sort of see him around doing this, that. He's painting a fence or building or fixing something. But I've obviously heard around the traps. He's the man to talk to and get him on the show. So we will next week. Promise you. Gilla's coming on.
Make sure you get a long session, mate.
Shall I bring some beers?
Yeah, some beers. And he loves Collingwood gear as well.
He's an Essendon man, isn't he? Yeah. He's trying to stitch him up, mate. So you come to the Gorilla. When did you come to the Gorillas? What year was that?
Geez, I don't know, mate. I didn't play at the Gorillas, but my young bloke probably come over, 2020. But before that, I'd sort of been over the club with Gilla. But it's probably been the last 2 or 3 years where I felt that real connection, where I've got to know a lot more people around the club through Jack. And now my eldest daughter Lucy's playing under 17s this season, so I come over from Everton. And so this season just feels unreal. I'm really enjoying it. Come down for most of the senior games, and it's a lot of fun. It's good. It's especially on the weekends, you just get to switch off from work and everything going on, watch the game, get to know the players.
Second home, isn't it, mate?
Oh, mate, it's unreal.
Yeah.
And it helps that they've got bloody good lager downstairs.
Yeah.
It's just, so that's very good.
It's where we'll head after this, mate.
I think so, mate.
Mate, now coaching. You've been coaching your boy now for 2, 3 years?
5 years.
5 years, sorry.
Sorry, 4. So 2020, So this will be the 4th year.
That's right, And you ended up winning Junior Coach of the Year. Was that last year?
Last year. Last year, yeah. So that was nice.
Well, that means you've been big
It meant a lot, mate. It meant a lot. It's good to get a bit of recognition. I didn't expect it, but I think we had some really good parents in our team, and so I think you only need one that really takes it on and takes a liking to you, and then the rest of them are just rallying together, right? So. I don't know how it come across, mate, but yeah.
No. I'm just having a lead, mate. But it is congratulations. It is a good award.
Thanks, mate.
You picked me, I think it was. Now, your team that you've got this year, under 11 team, you've got obviously Charlie James.
Yep.
We've got the junior coaches that that come down, the youth players that come down and help out some of our junior teams. And I know you've had Charlie with you now for a couple of years.
Yeah, last year and this year,
How's that been going? I know he loves it because I'm coaching him in the 15s.
Yeah. Mate, he's a great lad, and it's one of the things that the club does really well. So a couple of years before that, we had Dossie and Fletch, who I think they're both in the Colts at the moment. Fletcher Callaway and Dossie, and those two lads were unreal, like really good. So that started, and then they did one season, and then they gave us Charlie last year, and just, mate, Charlie's a diehard, mate. He's here before I get here. He's still here half an hour after they're all gone, out there kicking the footy. The boys love him. He's unreal.
Mate, I'm pretty sure he got cut at training the other day, and he bleeds red, white and blue, that kid.
Yeah.
And so does the old man too. Very passionate Gorilla people.
He's a good man, Steve. Yeah.
Now, under 11, football trip. You've just come back from that.
Yeah.
We had the Kate Evans and a few of the guys that were going a few weeks ago on the show. Tell us about that experience, mate. That must have been incredible.
Mate, that was unreal. Like, for the full experience of AFL, to go to 2 games. The boys got to play at Noble Park, which is really good for them, and get that Victorian feel. And they did a Victorian job on us as well.
They didn't get the chocolates, did they?
No, they didn't get the chocolates, mate. But keep in mind, I mean, they sort of effectively play under 12s, and we're under 11 and a half. So. There's some older boys in that team and whatnot. But anyway, the experience...
It's not using excuses. They did well in Noble Park.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and they produce some good AFL footballers too. That club.
They do. Very good football club.
There's been a lot of AFL guys go through there, but mate, the boys were not fussed at all about the points. They were more just had so much fun, and it was just one hell of an experience. From catching trams in the city to getting hot chocolates, to going to the MCG, to going out on the ground for the Footscray game, seeing Oscar Baker, and getting him to come up and all that sort of stuff, mate. It was, I don't think any of the boys would have had a bad time, or the girls,
Yeah, no, they looked like they had an incredible time, some incredible photos, and tour of the MCG and all that sort of stuff. But incredible experience, mate. And it's amazing that the club do it and continue to do it. And great.
Well, you've got that to look forward to next year, right?
I've got that to look forward to next year. I know my beautiful wife Michelle. She's going to be organising everything and getting it all ready and doing all the sausage sizzles, and I'll just come down and say good day every now and then. I'll help out. I'll do the right thing now.
You might be the coach, mate. So.
Yeah, mate. What is it that you love about coaching? Because I know you are from speaking to you on the times that I have, you're very passionate about coaching. You often think outside the box. It's not just rolling up and just running some lane work with the kids. You really like to look at player development, that sort of thing, and there's some various different methods that you use. What is it that you really love about the coaching?
Well, I think with the kids in particular, I mean, I've always thought of myself, even when I was young, I always wanted to coach, and I always had it in my head. I love the data and the analytics and all that sort of stuff that come where the statistics and all that sort of stuff that comes with footy. And with the juniors in particular, you see the rise and the change in the way they play really sharp. So with the senior footballers, I guess, it's probably a little bit different, the way they kick and all the rest of it, it's already etched in and they've been trained. But with the juniors, you can see massive development over a couple of weeks. And it's good when you can get a bit. Part of the challenge is to get them all engaged, and so you walk off the track going, right, that's a good session because they're all looking at me. I feel as though you've had a bit of impact, and just trying to make it fun as well. So I think probably the biggest thing is the reason why I continue to do it is because you can see that you're having a good impact on them inside of footy and outside of footy as well. It's not just all about getting out there and kicking the football. It's it's a little bit more than that. So some kids need a bit more attention, other kids don't, and we just try to balance it out and make everyone have a good time.
Speaking of that, you obviously coach your daughter over at Everton Park, and you coach Jack here. How do you go with coaching your own kids? Because I know coaching mine at times I can get a little bit frustrated. How do you go with coaching your kids? Do they give you feedback on your coaching?
Yeah. I think Alice, my middle one, she gives me a lot of feedback. But she's pretty feisty. I think Lucy and Jack, they'll give me feedback where needed, but most of the time they're pretty good. They're pretty receptive of any feedback that I give them. So, yeah, I think it's been relatively good. I mean, I wouldn't do it otherwise, right? So, I'm not really I wouldn't be coaching if it wasn't for the kids. And I've always said, each season, would you like me to coach again? Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, I'm doing it. One day they might say no. But, I mean, Lucy's come here this year, so this is her first year not being coached by me. So I coached her for 3 years. But she's loving it. And it's good to get some different coaches.
It's good to be able to just sit back and watch.
Yeah, well, that's right. And Wes and Jamie do a great job, and you learn from everyone, right? So it's good being around those guys and seeing, because I wouldn't mind coaching for a lot longer yet. So so hopefully.
So do you have aspirations to coach, say youth teams, potentially seniors down the track? Is that your aspirations? Because I know you're obviously doing a bit of work behind the scenes with getting your coaching certificates and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Is that where you're looking at heading, and not necessarily coaching just Jack or your own kid?
Yeah, I think so. I think it depends where the kids end up. I mean, but right now I'm just enjoying what I'm doing. So while I keep enjoying it, I'm going to keep doing it. And I guess at some point I haven't really thought about senior football. If that come up at some point, it's a long way down the track. It may be considered, but right now it's just.
This is your chance to do a bit of an audition for the senior committee.
Oh look, it's just each season as it comes. Really, I just, I love it. I absolutely love it. I can't wait for training sessions. I love the planning part of it. I love seeing some of the things come out on game day. So while that passion's still burning, keep doing it. Yeah. And if it fizzes out, we'll just become a spectator and enjoy it from the sidelines.
Yeah, nice, mate. We'll probably be having a beer in 10 years' time watching our kids up there. And,
hopefully, yeah.
Mate, do you have any interests and hobbies outside of footy work? You don't know, you collect stamps or, I don't know, camping, or you look like you'd be a bit of a camper.
I don't mind the camping stuff. We don't do it often enough. So I like to do that. I like to travel. Everyone likes to travel and go overseas at one point throughout the year. But mate, I watch a lot of footy shows. Pretty much every night. Other than that.
I can see the junior committee getting ready to come in, mate. But look, I will thank you for your time, mate. I really appreciate all the stuff that you do around the club, and keep up the good work with the coaching, mate. And all the best, and thanks for coming on.
Mate, thanks for the invite.
And also, buddy, don't forget, on Gorilla Talk, you don't go home empty-handed. Mate. Take that home to Jackie, or your missus, your lovely wife, or your daughters. There you go. Thanks,
appreciate
buddy.
It, mate. Thank you.
Mate.
Cheers.
Stop.